Let's make carrot cake. This is the only carrot cake recipe you'll ever need. It is moist and delicious and just the perfect balance of flavor. Let's get right into it. We're starting off with 2.5 cups all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 2 teaspoons salt, I'm using kosher salt, 2.5 teaspoons ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon ground ginger, and 1/4 teaspoon cloves. And we're just gonna whisk this until fully combined. In another bowl, we're combining 4 room temperature eggs with 3/4 cup white granulated sugar, 3/4 cup dark brown sugar, and we're gonna beat this until light and fluffy. You should notice it goes from this dark substance to suddenly this light, pale, fluffy texture. That should take about 2 to 3 minutes. Next, we're going to stream in 1 cup vegetable oil, and you want to stream this in slowly to make sure the mixture doesn't separate. Once fully combined, it should look glossy and beautiful like this. To this, we're going to add 1 tablespoon vanilla extract, and mix that up until combined. Next, we're going to grate 1 pound carrots, and I like grating my carrots on the finer side because when the carrots are shredded nice and fine, they're going to melt beautifully into the cake and make it so moist and delicious. Shredding them this tiny will also ensure they don't sink to the bottom of your cake. It may take a little longer, but it's totally worth the effort. Altogether, this should make about 4 cups carrots. To this, I'm going to add 1 cup room temperature buttermilk, just so we can keep our liquid ingredients together. And here's where it gets interesting. I'm going to alternate between adding the dry and wet ingredients. I'm going to add in the flour in about 3 different batches, and then I'm going to add in the liquid in about 2 different sets. I'm starting off with about 1/3 of our dry ingredients and about half our carrot mixture. I'm going to mix that until combined on low speed. You do not want to overmix this. Adding in our next 1/3 set of flour, the other half of our carrot mixture. Remember, keep mixing until just combined. You do not want to overmix this. And finally, we're going in with our last set of flour. And mix that until just combined. I'm going to finish mixing this with a spatula. Now that our batter is fully combined, we're going to add in our nuts and raisins. I'm doing 3/4 cup chopped pecans, 1/4 cup raisins, and 1/4 cup golden raisins. Of course, this step is completely optional and you can add more or less according to your preference. Your batter should look just like this. Now, if you have 3 pans, you don't have to do this step, but I like dividing my batter into 3 bowls, just because I only have 2 of the same size pan. I just do this to ensure my sizes are even. This makes 3 9-inch cake layers, so we're using 9-inch pans. I'm going to spray this with butter spray, but any baking spray can work. Then I'm going to line this with parchment paper that I cut into a circle, and spray that with just a little more butter spray. And I'm going to pour the batter right into the pan. And I'm just going to repeat the process. We're going to bake this on 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. Okay, this actually took 23 minutes to make. We're going to let these completely cool before we take them out of the pan. While our cakes are cooling, we're going to work on the cream cheese icing. The cream cheese icing is so easy to make. We're going to start with 2 sticks, which is 1 cup room temperature unsalted butter. We're going to whip this until it's white and fluffy. You should notice it goes from yellow to suddenly this almost white fluffy texture. Next, we're going to sift in 4 cups powdered sugar, and I'm going to start with only half of the powdered sugar just to ensure we don't make a mess. We're going to start this on low and then gradually increase the speed. Mix that until smooth and creamy like this, then we're going to sift in our next half portion of powdered sugar. Mix again on low just to avoid a mess, and then you can gradually increase the speed. To this, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons vanilla extract, and we're going to mix this until light, fluffy, and creamy. Once combined, it should look smooth and creamy like this. We're going to set that aside. One of the key things I learned while making cream cheese frosting is that once the cream cheese comes in contact with the powdered sugar, it starts to leak water the more you mix it. So you really want to mix the cream cheese as little as possible. What I like to do is beat my cream cheese separately until it's light and fluffy. It should only take a couple of seconds. Then I'm just going to spoon half of my cream cheese into my buttercream, and I'm going to mix that on low speed. Then I'm going to add my next half portion of cream cheese. And remember, once you add your cream cheese into the icing sugar, you want to mix as little as possible. This is going to make your cream cheese icing extremely stable. Once combined, it should be thick and creamy like this. You'll notice as the cake baked, it created a dome, so we're going to cut that off so it can be flat and even. I'm just using a serrated knife here. And here's my favorite part, decorating. I'm gonna start by putting this little dab of icing onto my turning table. Then I'm gonna press my cake board onto here. You don't have to use a cake board. This is just so you can transfer the cake easily. A little more icing onto the bottom of my board. I like to put about a half a cup of frosting in between each cake layer. You do not want to skip that icing. It is delicious. Finally, our last layer of cake. And I like putting it on upside down. And now we're just gonna frost these sides. Just try to smooth this as evenly as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect. I love how this cream cheese icing spreads. It is just so soft and smooth. I'm honestly going for a very rustic look. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now I'm just going to transfer my cake from my turntable onto the cake stand. And this is why I like using a cake board. It makes it so easy. This is completely optional, but I dyed some of my cream cheese icing orange and some of my cream cheese icing green because I'm going to pipe on some carrots. I'm using a round tip to pipe on the carrots, and then I'm going to use a leaf tip to pipe on my leaves. This is looking so adorable. Last but not least, I'm topping off the edges with some chopped pecans. Just kind of sprinkling it on the edges. This looks absolutely amazing. It's so simple, but so pretty. And there you have it. I cannot wait to dive into this. I absolutely love this. It's so adorable, so simple. I feel like anyone can do this. Let's dig right into it. I can just tell while cutting into it, it's so soft and moist. Oh wow, look at that. Oh wow. That is just so incredibly moist. Like, oh wow. The cake literally just melts in your mouth, and that cream cheese icing is just so soft and silky. This is absolutely delicious. Like, I shocked myself with this one. I feel like I can eat this whole cake. Don't forget to subscribe for more easy recipes. See you next time.